Let's talk. So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with me, Lasers Go. Today I want to talk to you guys about something I wish I would have probably researched a little bit more before this most recent life change I had, and that's going to be up and moving to another country. As I said, I think in a couple videos ago, I just moved to Melbourne, Australia from the United States. And it's been great. I've loved every second of it. I wouldn't change anything for the world. I think I made the right decision for myself, but I also believe I didn't come into it 100% as prepared as I thought I could have been. Now that's not to say I just kind of moved, I just up and moved myself without giving it any thought or putting any effort into making sure I was making the right choice. I did. But there were some challenges, and those are what I'm going to run down with you guys today. So number one is going to be one of the most obvious ones, but probably the biggest one. It's understanding that cultures are different when you move to another country. Now that probably sounds self-explanatory. Of course, a culture in America is going to be different from the culture in England, from the culture in Malaysia to the culture in Thailand. And me being very naive, I thought I visited here twice. I know what the culture is. It's going to be easy. I understand everything. But you quickly learn, I learned after my first 2 weeks, about a month in, cultures are very different. From the type of food they eat to the type of TV they watch to the way they talk and the phrases they use. Australia speaks English. It's not the same type of English they speak in America. And me being stubborn as I am, I try my hardest to refrain from using the Australian terms, and I don't know why. I probably should just embrace it, but I'm stubborn, I'm American. I'm like, no, this is how I've always said it, and that's how I'm gonna say it. When you move to another country, you need to learn to adapt. I'm learning to adapt. I've started to say some things that I wouldn't probably say in America that don't make sense. Along the same lines, the food they eat, it's different. It's somewhat the same, but it's also very different. Fast food is fast food. You can get almost the same type of fast food here, you can get there, but what's the right word? The sit-down type restaurants, or when you actually go out and eat, the food's different. I don't know how to explain it, but if you've ever traveled to another country, you know what I'm talking about, especially a country where you think that the culture is going to be somewhat the same. Like if you live in America and you go to England, or vice versa, you live in England, you go to America, or if you live in England, you come to Australia, it's different. There's of course going to be similarities that, every country has, like I said, fast food, but it's different. I don't know how else to explain it. It's hard to explain unless you've witnessed it and understand it. Second is the job market. Now, of course, when you're moving to another country, you need to research the job market. You're going to need a job when you move to this other country. It's just the way it is. Now, I had a rough idea of what I wanted to do when I moved here. And when you start applying for jobs, you sometimes find, things change. The type of thing you want to do changes. What you were doing back home, what you think you're good at, it's almost a new start when you move to another country. So that's what I found, is I wanted to try to make a new start. It didn't happen for me, but it's one of those things you have to research. What is the big market in the place you're moving to? What jobs are readily available? It's something that you really need to, look at when you move. I encourage everyone out there, if you're moving to another country, just look up and do some research as to what major companies are there in that place or whatever city you're moving to. Just take a look around, try to get a feel for what the unemployment's like and everything like that, so you can, be ready when you get to your new home. Third, it's choosing the right place to live. Of course, moving to another country or moving to another city even, you have to make sure the place you're moving to is right for you. Now, I was fortunate enough for my partner to live here in Melbourne, and I visited twice, and I loved it. I knew Melbourne was somewhere that I would love to live. I've loved it here. But deciding you're going to up and move somewhere without ever visiting or researching might not be for you. But moving somewhere without ever visiting is almost 100% a terrible thing to do. Before I came and visited Melbourne, I was so against moving to Australia. I didn't know anything about it. I honestly never really wanted to come here, but dating someone that was from here and having to visit, I fell in love with it. And that could happen for you too. I know loads of people that want to move to Paris, want to move to London, they want to move to Berlin, they want to move overseas and live somewhere, but they've never been, and they're just so sure that that's the place for them. And I hold my tongue, because who am I to tell someone not to move overseas when I'm one of the people that was so adamant I'm moving? But most of these people, like I said, have never been there. They're gonna move to Paris and not understand French, not understand the culture. They don't know the city. They might not like the city when they get there. They move to Spain and they might hate the food. It's not the same when you're eating at a Spanish restaurant in America and then you move to Spain and you have to eat the food, be in the weather, be around the people. You might not like it, and that's one of the things that I really, really can't stress enough is visit a place you're gonna wanna move, especially if it's overseas, before you make a life-changing move. And lastly, I would say just embrace the change. Making a move across countries, across continents, it's a big life move, but if you have the courage to do it, it could be one of the greatest things you've ever done. I moved from when I was like 19 from California to Florida. Couldn't make it at first. I moved back to California. I moved back to Florida and made something for myself and carved out my own life. And I think that helped me when I was deciding I was going to move here to Australia. But you have to understand that might not be for you before you go and check something out. But you need to also embrace the change. If it's something you really want to do, you visited the place, you understand the employment situation, you understand the culture, and you want to move, I say do it, especially if you're young. If you're in your 20s like I am and you want to move somewhere and you think you can make it, I 100% encourage you to do it. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. It was hard for me. Leave all your friends, leave all your family, and just go somewhere where you have to start a whole new life over. But it could be one of the most rewarding things. It has been for me so far, and I've only been here 2 months. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of stress already, but stress comes with the change, and you just got to embrace it, take it in stride. You're gonna have stress. It's just the way it's gonna be. You're never gonna escape stress. You could live at home your whole life and be stressed out. Why not be stressed out somewhere where you are having to discover new things and enjoying life even more than you thought you were going to? That's gonna be it for me, guys. Have you ever moved? Anything like that? Either states, cities, countries, whatever. Leave a comment down below and let me know. So please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow.